Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 7, and it's a bit exciting. So as I'm sure most of us should know by now, hopefully, all the DC TV shows are back up and running in regards to the Arrowverse, or, sorry for the swearing, but CWverse side of things, with some starting a while ago, like we're over 2 months ago, and some only just starting up somewhat recently, like over the past 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. But regardless, they are now all, they're now all working towards getting our shows back on our screens, either early next year in like January or February, or somewhere in the middle of 2021, like June or July, somewhere around there, just depending on the show. Now, in regards to The Flash specifically, we know they had to wrap up the story from Season 6 in the first few or several episodes of Season 7 due to COVID going, yeah, I don't think we're going to let you finish that storyline in where it's, meant to actually finish, so have fun with that, LOL. Now, last time we had some set photos from The Flash. They appeared to be from the finale, if you want to call it, for the Mirror Master, aka Eva McCulloch's, storyline. So due to that, they were about to head into whatever was next in store for the Flash and the rest of his team. And now we have our first little taste, our first little snippet, our first little tease of what is to come next. And it does raise some questions on now, just like who could be in this season, but what exactly the layout and story for the season will be as well. But throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various opinions in the comment section down below in regards to any theories you might have and just your general thoughts. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say, because you could spin these a few different ways and, who's showing up here and stuff like that. So let me know what you think. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and this gets you excited, want to drop a like on it to show support for the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. So first off, this stuff is coming from the Canada Grass Patreon. If you were following there, you would have seen these probably like a day or so ago by the time my video went up. So if you do want to be like ahead of the game in regards to getting some set photos and just information, you can go follow there if you want. If you don't, that's fine, but the link will be in the description down below. So firstly, jumping, just straight into all of it, Abra Kadabra is back. That's Abra Kadabra with a K. Now, when I was told this initially, just, saying, hey, Abra Kadabra is back before the, the photos and everything were posted online, I was really surprised. And at first I thought maybe we were getting a crisis change like we saw with some other characters post-crisis, where there was like either a completely new person in a role or there was a new holder of the mantle on Earth Prime. But when I saw the photos eventually, like an hour later or something, I was very happy to see that it was the same Abra Kadabra played by David Dastmalchian. Now, even though I was happy to see him again, I was once again surprised just due to David Dastmalchian and his recent rise, if you want to call it. Obviously, most would recognize him from roles in things like The Dark Knight, Gotham, and the Ant-Man films, and of course, The Flash. But he is also going to be in the Suicide Squad coming out next year in one of the main roles, and he's also in Dune, another huge movie. But it is important to say that he always said he wanted to come back to The Flash, so it finally happened, and I don't know if he promised he would, but he always said he wanted to come back, and he got his wish, I guess. And from memory, David is a huge comic book fan, so I guess any chance to play a comic book role is one for him to just jump at, so yeah. I guess one of the big issues was just how to work Abra Kadabra back into the story properly, and yeah. Now, there isn't a lot of context to the photos from set, if any at all. We just know that he is in a battle with the Flash, and from what we know, this is either episode 4 or 5. It's one of the two. You could really take your best guess, and you'd be half right, I guess. Now, it is important to remember that the last time we saw Abra Kadabra was, in the Season 3 episode, yep, you've guessed it, called Abra Kadabra, which had him being one of Gypsy's, RIP, bounties. Now, towards the end of the episode, he is taken by Gypsy back to her Earth in order to face, trial, if you want to call it, for the crimes he's done. But that was it. We don't really know what happened to him after that, or just what happened in that, thing in general. Like, what happened there? We didn't see the trial. So it will be interesting to see whether that plays into anything, or whether on Earth Prime, things just played out a little differently, if not completely differently. After Crisis, we did see that Abra Kadabra's name in that, folder thing that Cisco had with all the villains in it that the Flash had faced. So he is known by Team Flash in this new Earth, but it just matters whether the events played out the same way that we saw in Season 3. It will be interesting to see how it all plays out in regards to that. But it wouldn't surprise me if there's some little changes. I'm not saying they'll change it up dramatically, but maybe some tiny little changes. Maybe he escaped from Gypsy, or Gypsy never took him there, something like that. Now, in regards to this, like, Flash that's versing. Let's speak properly here. The Flash versing Abra Kadabra in this fight, it should be cool. I mean, the future tech from Abra Kadabra, like, it just should be a lot of fun. If you remember that season 3 fight, I might put some of it on screen right now. That was a really fun fight. It was very, like, magic themed and stuff like that because of the whole mantra, if you want to call it, around Abra Kadabra. But it would be interesting to see maybe some future tech that could be used here. Just to make it out like he's doing some magical stuff, you want to call it. So I'm looking forward to the fight in general. But that's, we're going to be waiting probably until March for this episode, so a bit of a wait. Now, along with Abra Kadabra, it does appear that another villain will be returning for this episode in a form that we only saw once, and that is that of Ramsey Rosso, aka Bloodwork. I'm not even joking, I have Bloodwork written down, I almost said Bloodwork. That would have been terrible. But anyway, now, while the actor, Sandhill Ramamurthy, was not on set, we didn't see him, they had this guy on stilts and like the weird padded suit and weird top hat thing. He was there. And this is the exact same model and look and everything like that, which was used on set to stand in for the big like Bloodwork monster from episode 8 of season 6. Now, of course, we know Bloodwork is in Argus. We saw him a couple times there last season, and he willingly stayed there last season when he could have left. He looked like he was going to break out, and I think all watching it live, like, oh god, Bloodwork's out, what's going to happen here? But he stayed. So it felt like they were setting him up from something, or for something in the near future, maybe just after the Mirror Master arc would end. Maybe we were meant to get a tease at that at the end of what the normal season 6 would have been. Regardless, this does suggest that Bloodwork will be in this battle. However, that brings up another question. Is this the real Bloodwork, or is it Abra Kadabra with like a hologram or something like that? With his future technology, you never know. It would be a bit of an amateur move to say that you know for sure what's going on here. But in one photo, it appears that the Flash has been thrown back into a car, which would make you think that it's the real Bloodwork that hits him towards it. So it's either the real one, or it's just an advanced hologram of Bloodwork from the future that can now beat your ass and can like physically hurt you, which will be pretty OP. So that might be the case. Who knows? Now, one of the big reasons I was sort of surprised to see Abra Kadabra back, and it's honestly, I'm going to be surprised to see if I saw any real big guest stars, is the whole quarantine thing you have to do when you go to Canada from America. And David Dastmalchian is American, lives in America. So that's the big question that comes with all this quarantine thing. He wouldn't have gone up there, stayed there for 2 weeks to do his quarantine, just to do not even a full week of filming, like maybe 3 or 4 days of filming. Not many people, if any people, will do that. It doesn't really make that much sense to do that unless you're really, really desperate for work, and in his case, he wouldn't be. I'm sure this is like, he wants to do it, but there's still like just logic behind it all. So this makes you think, will he be in multiple episodes due to this whole quarantine thing? Not just him as well, but other characters as well. Now, we know that John Wesley Shipp said he's going to be coming back as Jay Garrick sometime this season, but he wouldn't specify when. So he could be meant to be coming back in like episode 16, and who knows, by then the whole quarantine thing might be over, so he can come back and just film for 2 days and that's it. He doesn't have to do any quarantine or anything like that. But at the moment, it's a thing, and based off how America's going, and if you wanted to go on a scale of 1 to 10 in regards to how bad America's going with COVID, it'd be about an 18 itself. I don't see this quarantine thing going away anytime soon. So if there's any guest actors that show up, this is just me at least, I'm going to say, hey, they're probably going to be in multiple episodes. Not saying 4 or 5, but probably 2, because that's 2 or 3 weeks of filming there. So, I guess it's worth your time, but maybe I'm completely wrong there, but hopefully I'm right, because the more the better. And you might be wondering, well, isn't that going to cost a lot to get guest actors up? And I was thinking that myself, but it's also important to remember, like, because of COVID and some of the issues there, they can't do big set pieces with a lot of guest actors and stuff like that. So maybe a lack of those big set pieces with larger crowds and extras and stuff like that is saving them money, which allows them to have these guest actors on for longer stays because they have the money to spare. So maybe that's what's going on there. That makes sense in regards to the book, so that sounds logical. Now, the last thing I want to bring up is just because we're seeing these two in episode 4 or 5 shortly after the Mirror Master arc, and that is whether Godspeed is now the full season antagonist rather than just like the first half antagonist, which was originally planned. We know there are 18 episodes this season, but as I already said, 3 or maybe even 4 of them are taken up by the end of the Mirror Master arc. So, can you only have 14 episodes? Or can you have 14 episodes, might I say, and still do 2 villains. You could. I just don't know if that's the smartest way to do it. I'm intrigued to see where they go. Obviously, you can have your opinion down in the comment section down below. But if you think back to like seasons 1 to 4, 14 episodes, that's how long the back half is. Episodes 10 to 23, 14 episodes. So you're really fitting one back half into this whole thing. So is Godspeed now the entire season antagonist? The other option is that maybe they mix the Godspeed story in with another villain and have Godspeed then help Team Flash come the end of it. Because it's important to remember, Godspeed isn't a villain. He starts off a bit dodgy, but he's more like an anti-hero, if anything. So it'd be weird if they made him this full-on villain. I don't think it'd really please Godspeed fans from the comics. So it's a bit of a dodgy area if they go full-on with him. So maybe he like helps Team Flash, at the end of the season. There's actually another bigger, more threatening villain. But that's one of the things I'm most curious about, just the layout of the season, and how they're going to structure it. I guess when we get past this opening 3 or 4 episodes with the Mirror Master thing. So this looks like Abra Kadabra, Bloodwork stuff. Looks like it's one of, if not the first episode in this proper season 7 story. So I can't wait to see where it goes. But I'm still going to be curious until the season just starts playing. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on what you went over. Are you excited to have Abra Kadabra and I guess also Bloodwork back on the show? As I said, you can go to the Patreon for Canada Graphs in the description down below and follow if you want to see all this stuff earlier. But yeah, also if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.